People don't take it seriously right now, but if we don't make a change now, by 2050, there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than there is sea life.
Welcome to StaffBuffalo's Pain Points podcast. Hi, I'm Lauren Lewis with the Pain Points podcast, and I'm here with Tom Akers with Renew Bath & Body and Junk-Free Skin.
Hi, everyone.
Tom, thanks so much for having us in your space.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to finally have you on the podcast.
I'm so glad I'm here.
Ever since I met you.
Which is years ago.
Which is probably how many years ago?
12 years ago. Lauren was one of our first customers at Renew Bath & Body.
Yeah. So Renew Bath & Body was their beautiful shop on Elwood Ave in Buffalo, New York that had amazing skincare products. Everything was clean products. And then you started carrying all of your own products too.
So in 2019, we opened Renew in 2014. We had 25 different product lines that avoided 1,600 different ingredients. So it was healthy for your skin. Wow. And then in 2019, we opened up the factory. We started the factory journey, like manufacturing our personal care products.
Awesome. Well, what led you to really, number one, let's talk about the shop on Elwood. What led you to start opening your own skincare store?
What happened is my ex-partner of 22 years, he decided he wanted a 20-year-old. So he left me for the 20-year-old, and I was all of a sudden, I sold out of the business that we had, which we owned all the Taco Bells and KFCs in the area. So I sold out, but I was like, I'm way too young to retire. What do I do?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start this little bath and body shop because I have really problematic skin. I've always been passionate about my skincare, my bath and body products being natural. I'll open up this little bath and body shop. If I open, I open. If I don't, I don't. So It's not that big a deal. No stress and go to work. So that's kind of, and then I started at Renew because it was the renewal of my second life.
Your next journey.
My next journey. So.
And you have that background as a business owner, owning Taco Bell, so you kind of knew the inner workings of owning a retail, hospitality type of location.
So my original thought was honestly 5 days a week, a few hours a day, but then I quickly realized I get really bored. Yeah. And I'm not a person that can just sit idle and do nothing or go to lunch every day.
Yeah.
So I wanted to grow, and the growing was to start our own product line.
Which I love, and I was always a huge fan of their products when they came out. They're beautiful, they smell amazing, they're clean. The shower steamers are my all-time fave. I feel like I gift them to everyone. I feel like everyone needs that in their life, especially the eucalyptus menthol ones.
Yes.
So when you started your own product line, what led you to that step?
So my partner Mike and I, we were like, let's start our product line. Originally, we just wanted to start and just make our product line, make it for the store. And then my idea was eventually open 10, 15, 20 Renews. And kind of a Bath and Body Works, but all natural kind of thing. But then once we started it upstairs, we were in a 650 square foot space, which is now Mike's art studio. We quickly realized, I was like, wow, we're putting this insane amount of plastic in the world. And I felt really bad that I was a part of the plastic pandemic. I was like, I can't do this. So my mind was just going crazy. And Mike was like, just make body wash, just make bath bombs. So, and then one night I was sleeping and I was like, right before I went to bed, I did laundry, and I was like, why can't I put my body wash in that water-soluble film? And then I got out of bed, and I went and looked, and then I went in there, and I woke Mike up. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, which I do often. And he's like, just shut up. And I was like, I'm going to put my body wash in this pod. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So the next day, I started Googling. I found a company that does the water-soluble film. It's an international company. They're out of Japan, but they have a headquarters in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
So I called, and the lady that I spoke to, her name was Liz, and she was like, we're just starting our personal care division. We really just kind of briefly talked about it, but we're going to charge $250,000 to get into the study.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. I don't want to spend that kind of money to do this. But she made the mistake of giving me her extension and her name.
Did you keep bothering her a little bit?
So every single day, I would call her and I would tell her stories about my dog, Barbara Jean, which was always in the shop.
Yeah, Barbara Jean was the best. She was a fixture in the shop, which I'm sure there's a lot of people at Elmwood who miss Barbara Jean now that the shop is closed.
Every day on Instagram, I get messages, how's Barbara Jean, how's Barbara Jean? Yeah. I was like, she's enjoying retirement.
Yes. She worked hard at Renew Bath and Body and now she's
retired. Yes, she's retired. But then I called her every day. I swear I called her, and I told her she made the mistake of telling me she liked a certain donut. Once a week I would send her those donuts, and then I would call her every day. I'd tell her stories about my mom, my dog, everybody. And then finally, 2 months into it, she's like, Tom, Don't call me anymore. You're in.
Oh.
You're in. Lose my number. Lose my name, my extension. You're in. But long story flash forward, now we're like really good friends. We're the preferred co-packer. Her and her whole technical team and innovation team are in our factory once a quarter. And we are part of their growth in their future and helping them design new things for the future.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so
tell me more about like the designing new things for the future. Like what does that entail? So I'm trying to wrap my head around, I'm sure a lot of our listeners are trying to understand, like what does that mean? So for those of us who maybe don't know the manufacturing life or how you even start that process, what does that mean?
So we're one of the first to launch our body wash, shampoo, hand soap, and face wash in a water-soluble pod.
Which is amazing.
So it took us 3 years to formulate because you have to make sure that it's compatible with the film. It has to go through compatible testing. Each test takes about 3 to 4 months. So we have many failures, but we finally found the right recipe that's completely natural without putting any junk in it.
Amazing.
But now we're working with them. Their innovation team is here every quarter, and we're trying to do different additives to the film. So then it'll give you a sudsier bath, a shower, body wash. You could even put the scent into the film. So some really cool
interesting.
things. So they're doing, and then the pads, like there's a pad that's water soluble that we make it into. It just looks like a little piece of styrofoam.
Yeah.
You pull it out, put it on your washcloth, lather, and then it just turns into your body wash.
I've seen that before with detergent for laundry, right?
Yes,
They have
yes.
kind of the sheets now too.
And so now body wash will have like little teeny tiny bubbles of liquid in there. So once that pad disappears, those little bubbles of liquid would just like explode onto your washcloth, and then you would just lather.
Lather it.
So it'll be a really nice, smooth, nice for the end user, bubbly, smooth, and hydrating. You can put any ingredient in there. Olive oil, we use a lot of vitamin E, aloe vera, so you can put the ingredients in there and then absorb it into the pad in the little tiny bubbles.
Awesome.
So that's what we're currently working on now.
Very cool. The concept to me just seems so amazing and kind of like, duh, like no brainer. Like why haven't we done this before, right? And so I think from talking with you, you've told me situations where you're trying to get your pods into different stores and institutions across the country.
Yes.
It's really kind of taking off for you. So tell us more about that journey.
So right now we are currently in 105 Wegman locations. I worked on it for about 4 years, but finally they gave me top shelf in 105 locations. And then Mike and I just spoke at Moog about 3 weeks ago. We've been working with a lot of local business owners and a lot of companies locally for about 4 or 5 years through the Sustainable Roundtable and the Buffalo Purchasing Initiative.
Oh, neat.
So when we spoke at Moog, most of those people were there. So now Moog has made the commitment that they're going to put our public restroom hand soap in their public restrooms.
Wow.
Wegmans is testing it in their corporate office. And if it goes well, then it will expand all the way to all of their stores.
Awesome.
We're already doing a pilot test with Erie County in the parks. And if it goes well, then it's going to go county-wide.
I mean, that seems like a no-brainer too. In parks, like parks, you want to really eliminate waste and reduce plastic. It's all about natural
So
products.
we're the very first to launch public restroom hand soap that you don't, like normally that wall dispenser, you would take a cartridge out, throw it away, put a new cartridge in. Well, our concept is basically you can get a gallon jug, add water to the line, put 34 of the little pods in there, shake it for about 2 minutes, and then you keep refilling the dispenser and you don't throw anything away.
You keep refilling the pods in the dispenser?
You keep fill, just like once you put the pods in the water and shake it for 2 minutes, you have hand soap. It's normal hand soap.
Awesome.
And then our dispenser looks just like every other dispenser, but ours has a refillable container inside. So you have your gallon jug, you just fill it when it's empty, and you just keep refilling. And like Lexington Co-op has put us in their public restrooms, they were throwing away 600 of those cartridges a year.
Oh my
We got
gosh.
them down to 0. Like
That's huge. That's a
huge.
major savings on plastic waste.
Yes.
Wow.
And if we get Wegmans, Moog, we're working with KeyBank, Lexington Co-op, which has been amazing to us. They're like our family. And then Erie County will be up to preventing 40,000 of those hand soap cartridges a month from going into landfills and oceans.
Wow.
And people don't take it seriously right now, but if you look at the research that's been done, by 2050, they say if we don't make a change now, by 2050, there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than there is sea life.
Oh my gosh,
It's a
that's so
pretty
sad.
serious situation.
And when you think about it, 2050, well, that seems like it's really far off. It's not that far away at all. It's like
25
very
years.
soon. 25 years, that's nothing. I feel the year, it just turned the year 2000 and the new millennium.
I know.
Not that long ago, and here we are 25 years later.
Yes.
That is crazy. Tell us more about the product itself, the packaging, 'cause I know all of that is very important to you.
Yes.
And how you make it, everything you consider. Because I've always noticed that everything you do is very thoughtful. And you take the time to make sure that you're putting out a great product
Yeah.
and not just putting out a product to put out a product.
Yeah, so we sort of had to jump over hurdle after hurdle to get to where we are right now because we did have a bunch of failures. When you put the liquid into the water-soluble pod, we had many, many failures. But once we figured out the formula for the water-soluble pod, then our secondary packaging, we wanted it to be zero plastic, 100% compostable. So we tried 4 or 5 different compostable materials before we found the right one. Because when this sits on the shelf, say for 12 months, it could break down because this is 100% compostable. And we're about to move into, we just finished a compatible testing with a backyard compostable pouch. Even the zip tie, like right now, the zip tie on our current pouches are plastic. That's
Okay.
the only thing that's plastic. But on our next run, even the zip tie will be backyard compostable.
Wow.
So on the next run, our pouch, you can take it when it's done, you can put it in your composter in the backyard, and within 3 months, it'll just disappear into the
The
earth.
dirt.
Or you can throw it in
Wow.
the trash or whatever.
Yeah, and it's gonna disintegrate away.
So that material took a while to find, and then we just finished the testing, but it's a material out of Israel.
Okay.
So, but it is backyard compostable, but we'll be the very first in the world to launch personal care in that backyard compostable film.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And again, that's just so thoughtful. And I'm trying to think, how do you even find a company that has this kind of material for compostable packaging and the zip tie? It just seems like you're going to all lengths to try and find a company out of Israel.
Mine
And
calls it my crazy mind, because like this zip tie has been driving me crazy.
that's what I say. We're trying to be more compostable, and
You get the zip
zip
tie,
tie.
and the zip tie is plastic, and even though they say plastic's biodegradable,
right.
no plastic is ever biodegraded. Like
Yeah.
it stays. So they're thinking it may be 200-300 years, but they're not sure.
Wow.
But they do say eventually it will disappear.
That's a
eventually.
long time.
That's a long time.
And that's one of the things that kind of gets me about recycling. I try and recycle as much as I can.
Yeah.
And my husband sometimes will be like, well, why are you doing that? Stuff doesn't get recycled anyways. You're gonna put it in the recycle bin. It might not even get recycled. And I'm like, you know what? At least I feel like I'm doing my part.
Yes.
And then it's up to the recycle company to figure out what's gonna get recycled and what's not. Like I'll do toilet paper rolls or like
Yeah.
paper towel roll. I'm like, I put that in the recycle bin. I wanna make sure that that's cardboard.
Yeah.
That should be recycled. So little things like that. It's like trying to be just
That
conscious
definitely
because
will
that
be
can help make a
recycled.
difference.
That definitely will be recycled, but that was part of our speech at Moog. 90% of what you put into your recycling bin,
Right.
it doesn't get recycled.
Which is
It's
just
not
crazy to me.
recyclable. You cannot recycle it.
Like they have the little triangle on it. All
Yeah.
these things, whether it's plastic, paper you assume, but there's that many things that we use every day that aren't recyclable.
Because that's why a lot of grocery stores switch from the plastic bags, because the
Yeah.
plastic bags, they can be recycled, but you have to go through a special, because it's many laminates like stuck together.
Oh, okay.
So you have to go through a special process. So if you just put it in your recycling bin, it doesn't get recycled.
Interesting.
You have to.
You should take it to one of those bins at the grocery store. Remember they have those plastic bag bins?
Yeah, so then they send it off to a special facility that
Wow.
breaks it apart and makes it, that recycles it.
I was against the reusable totes at first. I was like, oh my gosh, these plastic bags are so easy. I use them for my little garbage bag in my
Yeah,
bathroom. Mark takes his lunch to work in the plastic bags. I'm like, what are we gonna do? They're still around.
They're
We
still
have some
around.
of them, but we try and reuse them, so we're not just putting them
And now everybody's
out,
just
but-
switched to the brown bags, so.
Yeah, but I do love the reusable totes too.
Yeah, yeah.
They have so many different uses. I feel like I carry my.
I bring my
bag.
lunch to work every day.
Exactly, my lunch.
And then if I bring my lunch to work in it, then I know when I go to Wegmans after work, I'll have my bag for
Yes.
groceries.
I do the same thing,
Yeah.
and then I fold it up and put it in my lunch bag if I have a couple of them.
Yeah.
That way they get back in the car, so I have them there to bring to Tops or Wegmans when I'm going shopping.
I have to
after
bring my
work.
lunch or I always forget them. Like I'll
Yeah.
forget it and then I'll be like, oh, my bag.
Sometimes they sit in one bag for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, down my trunk, I'm like, where are my shopping bags? But like you said, when we're kind of making that transition in Western New York and in New York State, I think it was 2020.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was to
Yeah.
change habits for people. But now here we are. It's 5 years later, and I think it's become such a habit for people to have their totes. You have your routine with your totes.
Yeah.
And then you have them with you when you go grocery shopping.
Yes.
And I think that's a lot of like with your products too. You're changing habits for people.
Yes.
You're changing habits of the products they always buy, what they're used to. But when it comes down to, when you think about the practicality, the amazing products or ingredients that you're using to make amazing products, and the thoughtfulness behind your packaging, it's just like a no-brainer about
It's a no-brainer.
changing that habit.
Our biggest challenge is teaching the consumer and changing their habit. Because even though our hand soap is on the top shelf and it looks completely different than any other hand soap, 'cause
Right.
it looks like a pouch like this, the sales are still kind of stagnant because I think a lot of people look at it and they're like, how do I use it?
Hand soap, right?
So through Wegmans, the Wegmans group has been amazing to us. We're doing a lot of educational stuff coming up.
Oh, cool.
So we're gonna do like little shelf talkers that have a QR code that leads to a video that says this
I
is
love
why,
that.
this is how you use it, to teach the consumer how to use it and the benefits, that it leaves zero microplastics behind. Because once this
Right.
film disappears, it goes down the drain between the microorganisms and the bacteria. Within 30 days, it just eats it up and turns it into carbon dioxide.
Oh,
So there's zero microplastics left behind, but I think a lot of people are just looking at it like, what is this? What is
I
it?
know. I know. Thinking about Wegmans too, and how we're looking to teach consumers to bring on their app. Is there something on their app that they can, if they see someone buys Renew Bath and Body pods for hand soap or body wash pods, can they get like a little video sent to them through the app or something that shows you how to use it?
That'd be a good idea.
Right?
Yeah, that would be a really
I
good
feel like
idea.
Wegmans is usually ahead of those things, but if they need extra insight, they can ask Laura Lewis.
All right.
Or you can steal it, Tom.
All right.
Steal my idea,
So we're
but-
just getting on the app, but that is a great idea.
Yeah.
Like, I think next week is our first week on their online store
Cool.
and their app. So that is because I was trying to figure out like some sort of digital opportunity that we could have, but that's a great.
I mean, they track all your buying habits right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they know you buy something that maybe they're trying to really promote in the store and change habits with, and they're working with you for a shelf talker with a QR code. It's like, why not have something right in the app?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And then you push a little notification through, like,
Because you can narrow down people that buy other brands. Like
Right.
if they buy another brand, oh, well, have you thought about the sustainable brand Renew?
Yes.
Trying this brand, like say they use Mrs. Meyer's, they have the data for everybody that has bought Mrs. Meyer's.
Yes.
So I wonder if there's a way that those people could get a video or a link or something.
I'm sure they could do that. That'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
And when you got into Wegmans, it was a process for you guys to
Yes.
also make sure you guys were top shelf.
Yes.
Tell me how that worked.
So basically, last February, not this February, last February, the Wegmans group, private label group, private branding group came. Originally, they wanted us to put the Wegmans brand.
Yeah.
So they came and they toured our facility and they loved the idea, but then after they went back, the whole private labeling team was like, this is a great idea, but you have to have sales histories.
Okay.
Because to be a private labeling, you have to be at a certain level of annual sales.
Okay.
So that's when they called me and said, hey, we've decided to do your brand, which is a great thing for us because now it's brand awareness for Renew. So they decided to do our brand, but they're really working with us closely to try to build the sales as much as possible the first
Awesome.
year. So they gave us top shelf.
Because they want
They
The
want
Wegmans name
really
on
good
your-
sales.
on your product,
And they
too.
think that this is the learning curve. Within 1 year, we'll be able to teach the consumer how to use it. We'll teach the consumer why to use it.
Yeah.
And then it'll just make the sales grow month by month. Because every week we do get bigger and bigger. But we're
Awesome.
not up there with like the national brands that are doing thousands and thousands a day
Right.
of units with Wegmans, but we're getting there. We're
And it
getting
takes time,
there.
like everything. You gotta be that squeaky wheel, like you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
with your friend in Chicago too.
So even 2 weeks ago, I did a lesson, a Zoom call with their employees. So all of their team leaders were on the Zoom call. So I did an educational team meet thing for 30 minutes. Why people should pick our product over any other hand soap that's in their department. And the biggest thing is the sustainability,
Yeah.
it's clean ingredients, and then we have some great scents too. But the
Yes.
biggest thing is for every one of these that sell in the hand soap, of course, you prevent 1 quart plastic container from ending up in a landfill or an ocean. So that's
Wow.
the way to think about it.
So Tom, now that you're in Wegmans, you've talked to the department heads, tell them how to use the product. What's next?
So now what happens is the department head goes back. First, we sent samples to each Wegmans that we're in.
Oh, great.
So we sent them a 2-ounce sample. It has a smaller pod in it. So then all the employees that work in that department, they get a sample of our hand soap. And then they have weekly meetings with all of their employees. So the department head is, for the next 4 weeks, we will be the topic of conversation and training on why people should use our product and the benefits of it and all that.
And that's a snowball effect
Yes.
at that point too. It's start with one person, one group, goes to another
It
group.
just gets bigger.
Gets bigger and bigger. The employees, it's going to resonate with many of them. And they're going to tell their friends, their family,
Yes.
and then you're not going to be able to keep it on the shelves.
Yes. I hope so.
I know, we have to get there. So as a consumer, if I'm going to Wegmans, I know I can find the pods for the hand soap on the top shelf. But how do I, what do I dispense them in?
You can put it in any dispenser. If you already have a foaming dispenser at your sink, you put 1 pod for every 4 ounces.
Okay.
But then we also have a starter kit that comes with the bottle and then 3 refills. And
Awesome.
each refill is in a different scent. So you can try all 3 of our scents
I love
and then
that.
figure out what scent you want to use as your permanent hand soap.
Yeah.
So basically with our bottle, because it's 8.5 ounces, you put 2 of the pods in there, add water, shake it for about 30 seconds, and you have hand soap. The only thing we're doing different is you're adding the water at the time of use versus before it ships from the manufacturer.
Right, which that's easy.
Yeah.
Never had to just fill it up, right? Just normal tap water.
Just normal tap water, the warmer the better. It will dissolve in cold water, but it takes longer to dissolve in cold water.
And now tell me about these beautiful glass dispensers.
So we have 3 different designs: land, sea, and air. It's tempered glass, so if it falls off, most likely it won't break.
That's
And then
awesome.
it is screen printed on, so it's not a sticker, so we had them screen printed on each bottle. But the idea was just kind of to keep with our theme about the earth, land, sea, and air.
I love that.
And then it's 8.5 ounces, but it is a thicker bottom, so it's harder to tip over. So we picked a bottle that has a really thick bottom, and we call it your forever bottle. So you just keep reusing the same bottle over and over and over.
You just keep buying the pods and
Yes,
filling them up.
yes.
How many uses does someone get out of, let's say you put the 2 pods in the glass pot? Do you know how many pods?
I think it's like 120 hand washes
Oh, great.
out of every.
That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. And that goes so much further too, and that's
Yes.
continues more, just even less waste. You're saving money. I
You're
mean, in the
saving
long run
money.
too.
Because even one of the things they had me talk about on the call with the Wegmans is if you look at this, if you're using our bottle, it's 5 refills. That equates to $2 per refill.
Wow.
But if you're using a small bottle, like 4 ounces, you get 10 refills. So now you're only talking $1 per refill. So it's a tremendous
So
price value.
cost effective
Yes.
too. It's amazing. Now you mentioned too earlier the public restrooms and putting in the soap dispensers. What does that look like?
So that's been our biggest interest with big companies.
Yeah.
So basically you get a gallon jug, you add water to the line, and then you get a pouch that has 34 of those pods in it. So you just open up the pouch, put all 34 pods in here, shake it for about 2 minutes, and then you have just normal hand soap. The benefit is, this is our gallon, this is their gallon, like the traditional gallon. Our gallon weighs less than a pound, theirs weighs about 8 pounds.
Okay.
So in our case, it's just a little box that's like 7 by 7. It only weighs like 4.5 pounds.
Wow.
So you can ship on 1 pallet of ours when it would traditionally take 4 pallets of the old.
Oh,
So
wow.
you're lowering your carbon footprint because it would take 4 semis versus 1 semi for ours. And then you lower your shipping costs by
Right.
like 83% because our case weighs 4.5 pounds, their case weighs like 35 pounds.
Yeah.
So they're lowering their shipping costs by 83%, and then you completely eliminate your landfill waste. This pouch is compostable, and then you just keep reusing the same jug over and over. Like Lexington and Cohen's been on the system for a year,
Yeah.
and they haven't had to replace not 1 jug.
Wow. What do you do with the jug? Do you pour it into the dispenser?
So
or-
the dispenser looks just like any wall dispenser
Yeah.
that's already there, and you just open it up, and there's like a little
like plastic.
cavity in
Thing
there.
in
Then
there,
you
yeah.
just you pull it out,
Pour it in.
your solution in there, and put it in there.
That's
So
awesome.
you're just refilling versus taking the cartridge out and throwing it away.
And I can imagine that's reducing the amount of space like, that your backup supplies are taking on shelving.
Yeah, so your
As well.
inventory, it takes up way less space.
Yeah.
Because ours is 7 by 7 by 7, and theirs is like 36 by 36 by 36. So it takes less space to store,
Yeah.
and then you lower your landfill waste, your ocean waste, you lower your shipping costs, and then your carbon footprint is down by like over 90%.
Wow. So
So,
there's just so many benefits
Yeah,
to
yeah.
your products.
It's
And again, I
incredible.
want to go back to the thoughtfulness of it, like even the thoughtfulness of designing the glass dispensers.
Yes,
The tempered glass, that this is screen printed on. It's got the thicker base, so that, yeah, if it's gonna fall, and then we have families, people have kids, you're just kind of busy, in a hurry, getting ready, washing your hands, and knock it over off your counter onto the tile floor.
A lot of people are worried about having kids and it's falling and breaking.
Yeah.
But most personal care products are in tempered glass if it's in glass, so the likelihood of it to break is really low.
Yeah.
It can break, but it's really, really low because it is tempered glass. Because even some body washes come in glass too. So, and on our team, we have 3 designers, package designers, but Mike oversees that. So he does a great job with these bottles. I just told him Lancy and Air.
Yeah.
And then him and the 3 designers came up with the design.
I love it.
And then we changed our packaging based off of what Wegmans said from our old packaging. So they did a great job. We just launched this. It was first to Wegmans.
Yeah.
And now it's in Lexington Co-op, but really big bold letters, what's in the pouch, how many refills or uses you have. So based off of their suggestion, Mike basically took that back to the design team and we redesigned.
So how many people are on your team now?
Now we have, of course, an accountant, and then Mike has 3 designers that work off-site. So all the designers are Buff State students, but we do pay them a really, really good wage. So they get to work from their dorm room or wherever they live. So we have 3 designers, and then we have an engineer on staff, we have a chemist on staff, and then we have a production staff of about 4.
Wow.
So
but you got all this done with, it sounds lean.
Yes.
Lean,
mean.
Fighting machine. Reducing plastic and eliminating waste.
Yes.
I love that. Let's talk about your manufacturing facility. So you got to a point, you had this amazing shop on Elmwood, which I loved, and recently you had to make the tough decision to close your shop in the storefront.
It was a really hard decision.
I bet.
Yeah.
What kind of led you there, and where do you see yourself kind of moving now that we're not in Elmwood?
Well, we got so busy here that I was having to come here, but then it was hard to find people to work and steadily work. So I would have to randomly, they would call off or they wouldn't let me know they weren't there, and we get a bad Google review. We went on vacation, I landed, the person that was supposed to work said, oh, I can't work the whole week you're gone. So we got like 4 bad Google reviews about not being open.
Yeah.
So I was just like, we gotta focus on what we're doing at the manufacturing versus, the retail was really nice. I loved being a part of the community, I loved being there, but it was just adding so much stress to the day. Because I was having to come here in the morning, go there and work, and then come here after working there and do work here. And then do all the I do all the sales calls. So that's what led to it, is we were just like, it's just, I think it's
too much.
Yeah.
Just was time.
And then every weekend they would call off and I would have to work, and it just got to be you need a day off.
You do, absolutely. You need to rest and relax and enjoy your life, right?
Yes.
And be able to travel and not feel stressed about your storefront. Yeah, that's not a way to live. And you kind of have to look at, okay, where's our business? Where's my focus now? And I think it's so amazing that your business has shifted in such a nice direction that you're not just reaching the people on Elmwood and the surrounding communities, but you are reaching far and wide now, especially being on the shelves at Wegmans, and I'm sure there are other developments in the works to.
Because we're private labeling too, so like more Arby's, they bring their beef fat over. We make beef fat soap for them. We take it back to Caitlin. Mike designed her packaging.
I've seen like the beef tallow soap there. So you guys make that.
We make that, yeah.
That's so cool.
And then we're working with Little Salmon, where she's launching a whole line, so we're making the whole line for her. Mike's working with her for her design for all of her packaging, but we'll make all the products and then take it to her, and then she'll package it up and send it out through her store, through wholesales. Like Caitlin, I believe, at Morardi's, she's in like 15 different locations already.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love to see local businesses supporting other local businesses and partnering together, and that's what makes this community and doing business in Buffalo and Western New York such an amazing opportunity. People always ask me, well, maybe they don't ask me, I voluntarily say, like, I love doing business in Western New York because you just make such amazing connections and you learn about so many different unique businesses that a lot of people don't know. They don't know this is happening right here in Western New York, and your manufacturing facility is right here on the corner of Elmwood and Gray Arrow. And
last time we were at an event, and I was talking to a lady. She's like, Buffalo has some cool stuff happening in it, and you just don't know until you meet that random person. And she's like, you guys are changing the world, the way people think of plastic. But we didn't know it was happening here in Buffalo. We had no idea.
No, and we don't. And that's why I think it's so important is to educate.
Yeah.
So not only are you creating a product and you want to, of course, sell it, but a lot of what you're doing is educating consumers and people in society and in this country and the world about the risk of plastics and waste and how it's going to accumulate in 2050. There'll be more plastic in the ocean, like you said, than sea life. And that's frightening. That's terrifying.
And they already said that most humans consume a credit card of plastic every month. If you eat seafood. If you eat a lot of seafood, you consume plastic. Because it's in your water, it's in the water, because it's just leaching into the water in the ocean.
I've heard that about the credit card size amount of plastic before, but I was like, I spent a cutting board. I chop on the plastic cutting board and get little pieces of plastic. Wow, that adds up really quick to credit card size. But it's in way more places than you think it is.
Way more. It's your water, it's in the seafood, because your fish, the seafood, your shrimp, everything is in the water, and there's so much plastic.
And they're getting their nutrients from the ocean and the plant life in the ocean, and it's getting in their body, and then when we consume that, it's in our bodies.
Yes.
It's a circle of life.
Yes.
And that's why I think it's so important that we do things to help mitigate that and be more conscious about the products we're buying and the products that we're using, so that we are contributing to society and supporting the land we live on and the food we eat. It all comes around and makes a huge difference. And it's amazing that you are helping us take those steps.
Yes, because our biggest challenge has really been like the commercial hand soap. Every company we've talked with are like, it's not broke, why fix it? It's not broke, why fix it?
Right.
I was like, well, it actually is broke. If you look at how many of those cartridges you're putting, if that's broken, that can get you down to zero. But then they think it's gonna be really hard to implement and teach the facility person to how to actually use this. But even Lexington Co-op said it was way easier to implement than they thought. Erie County said the same thing, way easier to implement. We're in the Westin Hotel downtown.
Oh, great.
Way easier. So I think once people try it,
yes,
they're not as afraid of it. And then most of them say it was actually broken and we just didn't know it was a broken system.
And that's the thing I realize with a lot of people is you don't know you have a problem until you kind of see another solution.
Yes.
Right? So they don't think it's a problem right now, their hand soap and how much waste they're contributing. But you gotta tell a story and make them understand the story and realize, oh wait, now it is broken.
It's broken.
And I have this amazing solution, why am I not using it?
So even think about this foaming hand soap. If Wegmans sells 40,000 of these pouches a year, that's 40,000 of basically a quart size like this that we're preventing going into landfills. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a huge,
and that makes a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah. I think, are we coming up on Earth Day?
It was in April.
It was in April.
Yeah.
So we're just past it. But that's a great opportunity too to shine light on the difference you can make and how you can reduce waste. And maybe you're working with Wegmans, you're educating people, you're working with Moog.
Yes.
And just continue the education is so important. And then you try to quarter someone who's had that aha moment, like, oh wow.
Wow. Like you
That's
realize,
impactful.
Yeah. Because they go up during April, every day they spotlighted a product that was making a difference for the earth. They spotlighted ours 3 different times, and it was educational. So what we did is we put it on sale so people could try it at a really sharp discount, and then hopefully they'll like it and come back, and then it'll just continue to grow and make it a bigger and bigger kind of benefit.
Absolutely. Tell me about the manufacturing facility. What are your goals as you continue to grow?
So we started at 650 square feet, which is now Mike's art studio, and he has a desk in there where he oversees all the designers.
Awesome.
So now we're up to 10,000 square feet.
Wow.
We're a little bit down the hallway on the 3rd floor. We currently can do 500,000 of those water-soluble pods a day.
Wow.
We can do 2,500 bath bombs, shower steamers, salt blocks an hour. We can make about 2,000 bars of soap a day. So we're really expanding.
That's a lot.
It's grown to be a lot.
Where do you see it continuing to grow?
So right now, thanks to Lauren, she introduced us to Shift 2.0.
Oh yes, that's right.
So Shift 2.0 and EWI and Insight, they're helping us to because after we do those liquid pods, 500,000 a day, that's completely automated. Now, after they come off that conveyor belt, we're completely manual.
Oh, okay.
So Shift 2.0, I've been working with them and Insight to show us and to find the best of equipment to go to semi-automatic and then eventually growing into complete automation. But it's just too expensive to go to complete automation.
Right.
But my goal is, and we just did evaluation, like within 5 years, I truly believe we'll be at like 50 million or greater in sales, and we'll be preventing hundreds of thousands of gallons from going into the landfills and oceans.
That's amazing. So it's really just overcoming the pain points of what you're doing now, right? The manual side of it.
Yes.
And then optimizing your processes.
Yes.
So you can not only manufacture more, but package it, ship it, and get it to all the places that it needs to be,
Because
into the hands of consumers.
we can grow into the conveyor belts all connecting, so the pods, the little pods, 500,000 come off. Another machine, it takes it over to another machine, it'll drop how many ever pods in the pouch, it'll seal the pouch, and then it'll go down another conveyor belt, it'll pack it in the boxes, tape it, and then you'll have a human at the end that basically puts it on pallets.
Awesome.
So you can go to full automation and robotics too. Like AI has really changed. I'm learning through Ship 2.0 and EWI.
Yeah.
The robotics are insane now. You can take where you normally would need like 20 people in a
Right.
factory, you would need like 3.
That's awesome. I mean, so helpful.
Yeah, but that cost for that equipment is huge.
There's a big cost up front,
Yes.
but then it's also, you're saving the labor costs
labor
in the
cost
long run. So you gotta kind of
yeah.
balance that equation a little bit.
But right now, it comes off the conveyor belt. Me and the whole team, we're up there packing, and you have to weigh, you have to count, you have to, and then you have to manually
Seal it.
seal, and then you have to put it in the case, and then you have to tape, and then you have to put it on the pallet. So the first order was us up there. It wasn't like that bad, but it was almost completely manual after the pod.
It takes a lot of time.
Yes,
That's a
yes.
process. But that's you putting, like, that's your love, that's your hand,
Yes.
your hand stamp on it, the personal touch on these products to say, here they are.
Like
Take 'em out
the
there.
first big Wegmans order, it took us about a day and a half, which is not long, and now we're 2 orders ahead.
Oh, that's
But
good.
if we were completely automated, it would probably take us about 3 hours
Oh, I'm sure.
to do
And
that
that much
kind of
more
iron. Yeah.
you can get out there
Yeah.
to consumers. If someone doesn't have a Wegmans near them or they're not near Lexington Co-op, how can they get your products?
The newbathandbody.com, so you can get any of our products on our website.
Awesome. I'm a huge fan, again, I said the shower steamers. The eucalyptus menthol are my favorite, especially when it's like cold season and you're feeling like a little sinus infection. I put that in my shower in the morning and it's just like the breath opens
clears you,
up, it
yes.
clears you out, and it just kind of like awakens you to be able to like function on those days. It's amazing. I feel like I give them to everyone in my family and friends, like around the holidays. I'm like, it's that time of year, here you go.
It's like a mood booster, but then it clears your sinuses.
It does both. It's
Yeah.
amazing. There's been like a thing that a lot of girls do, like girl groups, and it's called like favorite things. So you're gonna gift each other your favorite things around the holidays, and I gifted my friends the eucalyptus menthol shower steamers one year. I was like, everyone needs to have these.
It's
They're
actually one of my
cheaper.
favorite products too, along with
Yeah.
our gardenia lemon bar soap.
Okay, so I'm a white tea and aloe girl,
Yes,
bar soap.
I love the gardenia lemon. So the white tea and aloe is the scent that the Westons pump into the drinks worldwide. We matched it with no carcinogenics.
Amazing.
So now we make it in the hand soap, the bar soap, a body scrub, a shower steamer, the body wash, which the body wash is becoming a huge hit with local retailers.
So for consumers, like local retailer, like Wegmans, they're gonna stock the body wash.
Eventually, they'll
Eventually?
probably hope in the next month, they'll have
Oh,
the
wow.
body wash in their body wash section. Lexington Co-op just placed the first order for the body wash.
Awesome.
I believe Sprouts on Main.
Spruce.
On
Yeah.
Main, she's gonna have it.
Awesome.
And then that call that I just hung up with a few minutes ago, it's a retailer for 479
Wow.
locations on the West Coast.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and then
Real
we're working with
cross-country.
another Midwest one that I'm really excited about that hopefully we can announce soon. It's 279 locations, kind of
Wow.
Wegman-like locations.
Okay, that's amazing. We're getting there.
Yes.
It's been so fun for me to watch your journey
Yeah.
over the years from just coming in. I don't remember seeing a sign on the sidewalk as I was running by, and there's carried a skincare line I liked, and I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Oh,
And
Suki.
Suki, yeah,
Yes.
the Suki products. I love those. And that's where we began our friendship.
Yes, yes.
And I've been a loyal customer and fan ever since.
Since like 2014, I think it was.
Probably.
So we opened up
Yeah.
late 2013, and I think you're right at the beginning of late 2013,
Yeah.
14 kind of thing.
Yeah, it was definitely shortly after you guys opened. And I
Yeah.
always found some of my favorite products in the store, and now online. I'm so proud of you guys to see you in Wegmans
Thank
and
you.
to see the growth, and it's just been so fun to watch.
It's been a journey, I tell you. In 2019, actually 2020 January, I
Mm.
woke up and I told Mike, I was like, let's just buy all the equipment.
Yeah.
Because I was going to go to a co-packer and have them pack these pods for us. But it was a minimum order of 1 million per cent per product.
Oh,
So
wow,
I was like,
that's a-
we can buy all the equipment for one order, because I wanted to do body wash and hand soap.
Yeah.
So we would have been at like 7 million pods minimum. But then also, that would, like say Morardi's, if she wanted to do, I'm not saying she wants to, but say she wanted to do her body wash with beef towel, it would knock her out of the market because who's gonna invest that kind of money? So our goal is to include smaller retailers. So our minimums are really, really low. Like we're like less than 1,000.
Oh, that's great.
So you can launch your own scent, like 'cause even Tracy at Little Salmon, it's really like you can launch your own line for less than $1,000 with us.
That's
And then we
really
can
cool.
design your packaging, but we are working with some smaller, mostly women-owned for some reason, personal care product lines throughout the country that we're working with them to launch their own body wash, shampoos, bar soap, and all that.
That's awesome. So what a great opportunity for other businesses to get in, because sometimes you don't know where to
compete
start.
with
So
the big
it's,
guys. To get into this arena with water soluble, like you're competing with big, I believe in the next 2 years, they call this year the year of the pods.
okay,
But within 3 years, they're saying it's almost like the Tide laundry pod.
yeah,
It started off really, really slow, but then eventually it grew, and now it's like 50 billion pods a year business that everybody has went to, because it makes it easy. It's pre-measured,
easy.
it's plastic free, it's
Yeah.
environmentally friendly. So I think a lot of people are switching to it.
it's easy to travel
Yes.
too. I know we went on vacation in the fall. We were gone for about a week, but we figured we would do laundry over there. My mother-in-law sent us with Tide Pods.
Yes.
So they put them in a plastic bag. We put them in the car, brought
Yes.
them to the laundromat on Cape Cod, and we did our laundry halfway through our trip, and it was so convenient.
Even if you fly, this is TSA friendly, you can take 31 body washes, because
Wow.
each one of them are individually 5 milliliters, and it can be over 3 ounces.
So easy to
Individual.
travel.
Easy, this is TSA friendly, you can take it through, it's easy to travel. So you can have 31 body washes that you're traveling with your husband, and you're going for 7 days each.
Yeah.
That's 14
That's
body
14.
washes, yeah.
And that's amazing, because I think sometimes it's hard to travel, right?
Yeah.
And these are small. They pack nicely. They're probably easier than packing even those little 3-ounce TSA size bottles
Yeah.
of body wash. Or do you have a product that is hair?
So we have face, body, hair. right
Face,
here.
body, hair. Yeah. So to say, if you're traveling, you grab the pods that are face, body, and hair, 3 in 1.
So it's a 3-in-1 pod.
And yeah, and then you way less stuff to travel with.
Yes, so that,
Way easier than those little bottles.
so we formulated it to hydrate the hair, but also not to pore clog for your face. Normal body wash is like 90%, or face cleanser or shampoo is 90% water. Ours has 0 water, but we put some really cool ingredients like coconut oil, olive oil, aloe vera, vitamin E in this
Nice.
product. So now it's great for your hair, it's great for your skin, and it's great for your body.
Perfect.
But that little 5 milliliter pod, if you look at traditional, once you add the water, it's like that much. It's a lot of product. It's actually too much for your whole body. We could go smaller, but we didn't want to, depending on like the size of the person and
Yeah.
how long their hair is.
Right, everyone's different, so it is
Yeah.
kind of at a good size for everyone. If you're a smaller person, lost hair,
Yes.
just an extra product. That's
Yes.
it's
It's
fine.
just
Extra lather.
Yeah, extra lather, a little bit more suzzier.
So for a person on the go, I mean, these are no-brainer products, especially
Yeah.
if you're trying to eliminate waste and reduce plastics. You're conscious about the world and the environment and what you're putting on your body and using. You have to check out Renew and Junk Free Skin, because they're, like I said, I can't say enough about their products and the people behind it.
Thank you.
Thank you for being part of the Pain Points podcast.
And you can find more about our manufacturing at www.jfskin.com.
Perfect. And I was going to ask, and if there's someone out there that's listening that wants to get in touch with you about your products, how would we get in touch with you?
So if you go to www.jfskin.com, if you hit contact, the email comes directly to me.
Perfect. Awesome.
I actually met a lady last night, and she emailed, like I woke up this morning and I had an email, and she was wanting to know how to find our products.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's really cool.
Well, I wish you continued success and
Thank
growth,
you.
and I can't wait to see where it continues to go.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you again for being with us. And again, you can find the products, the foaming hand soap refills at Wegmans locally. If you want everything else, the shower steamers, the body soap, the body wash pods, the 3-in-1, everything's online.
Everything's on renewbathandbody.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Tom.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Pain Points podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to follow us so you never miss out on future episodes.